just do a quick rewind and re-reference to all of our viewers and fans out there, and those of you that have maybe caught the last video. We just want to draw your attention to our little friend over here, Mini Stan Lee from Minico. Over there. We'll try and get a quick little...
sorry, I'm slow on this.
Yeah, don't worry. Stan Lee Minico. Our good friends at Cosmic Comics have been kind enough to donate that little Stan Lee to us and to our podcast here. And we thought we'll share the love.
And give it away. So if you want to stand a chance at winning this bad boy...
make your way over to the Cosmic Comics Facebook page and hit like. Start sharing the love and the likes for them and their page. And we specifically want you to find the Stan Lee post on their page for that Minico Stan Lee figure. When you do, please just tag either Mark, myself, or both of us, if you're feeling generous in that, just so we can get your name there. And that's the first stage of your entry into our competition. Part 2, we want you to find the Asylum pod page on Facebook. And if you haven't already, please just hit like there. And again, on any of our video posts or anything that we've shared there, just comment, tag Mark or myself so we can get your name for the second time. And third, and finally, again, guys, if you want the statue, it's a very cool little statue. You're going to have to work for it. Third and finally, make your way over to the Asylum Pod YouTube channel. Please subscribe, smash that button for us, share the love, share it with your friends and family, even if it's just to get more entries into the draw. But subscribe to the channel, and then please just comment on any of the Stan Lee posts, any of the videos that have us referencing this guy, that would be this one and any of the previous ones. Again, so we can get your name for the third time, pop you into our draw, and we'll take it from there. And if you want more than one entry, then comment on more than one of the videos with Stan Lee.
Get in there, man. How's it going, dude?
I am good, and you?
Chilled. We got a new table. It's very, very cool.
We do, and I like it. More space.
I don't know if anyone can even see it, but...
Yeah, to our audience, they probably can't tell, but it's bigger, it's more sturdy. In the behind the scenes, we should actually do like one of those little snippet vids again, where they can see from this angle all the gadgets and doodahs.
Yeah,
because it's like a whole new studio now.
Feels that way.
Whole new world.
I think we must, on that note, just try a small, quick reminder.
Yes.
I don't know where we're going to put the details. We're working on that still. But we're giving away this awesome Stan Lee Minico thanks to Comic-Con.
Yes. And
what am I saying? Thanks to Cosmic Comics.
You're thinking Cosmic-Con already.
Yeah, I am. They were kind enough to give this to us. Again, there is details in our previous videos. We'll link them.
And we could always just slot in that little snippet to give people all the deets on how to enter.
100%.
I don't know where it's going to go in, but it will go in somewhere.
It's our first giveaway, so be kind.
We're still working this stuff out, the mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
Nice. So how you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good for the most part.
Did you have a good week?
A very quiet week, which in turn that helped, with edits of our podcast. But work-wise, I had 1 or 2 jobs that dropped on me and have moved, and so I'm quiet. I'll be honest, and it's a bit worrying.
Buzzing around here somewhere that likes me because I think I'm sweating like a racehorse.
Yeah, man. But man, I think it's same old for everyone locked down. I'm just hoping gradually normalizes at some point this century.
Did you see that Joe Rogan clip when him and Bill Burr were talking about it and how like people are at that point in America, just shit just needs to carry on, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, kudos to you.
I haven't watched the actual clip, but I think I can just visualize it because, I mean, you had to see like a couple of clips of Bill Burr to know he's like rants.
Yeah, totally, yeah. And to his credit, though, he doesn't rant. Joe wants to go and try and get his take, his feedback and input on what he feels about the whole COVID situations and the measures that the government is taking. And to his credit, Bill Burr goes, we're not even going there. I don't want to go there with you. You're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
All we have is what we're seeing on YouTube, which is not very credible. So Yeah, and they do both keep it very high level. They don't delve too far down into it because Bill Burr is just like, I'm not even remotely a subject matter expert here. I can't go toe to toe with you. So that was quite interesting. But he does have his rants on certain things on people that aren't wearing their masks and stuff like that. So yeah,
100%. But yeah, so what's news in the comic world?
Oh, one thing that I did see, I think I've shared it on our Facebook page, was Mandalorian getting nominated for numerous Emmys. And I actually wanted to give some shout outs to some of our loyal fans and subscribers and viewers, because I'm apologizing right now, and I don't want to fiddle on my cell phone to get, which I actually forgot to even switch on. I don't want to fiddle searching for a name, but I'm going to put the name up there. I am going to put in the comments to thank them specifically, because one of our loyal fans shared a whole how they made the Mandalorian video on
I can
YouTube.
actually, as far as I know, it's a guy called Pravesh, and he's actually a friend of Nikita's that's become a friend of mine. And him and I are very much like we like tech geek dudes that way. Okay. So I think sometimes he even thinks he's speaking to me. I think he forgets that it's both of us.
Could be. But so Pravesh, shout out to you.
Yeah, 100%, dude. But yeah, on that, I don't know if I'm cutting in, but I saw that article a while ago, and it's freaking incredible, dude, because
unbelievable.
You must also remember, from a technical movie standpoint, when you shoot, like in built sets outdoors, you've got all these on-set guys that got to worry about airplanes, they've got to worry about...
Sure.
This is in an actual studio stage set, and then they've got a life-size LED screen, and they're putting in they're lighting
panoramic life-size, so it's literally madness, almost
dude.
Full 360. And when you see it, and it's all running on the Unreal Engine, so for all the gamers out there, it's right up their alley.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for years that it is to date the best engine ever designed by far. And when you see how they do it and how they can actually map it to the camera motion, so that as the camera's panning and moving, it's configuring itself in real time to flow with... my mind was blown away. And that is going to change filming, forever going forwards, because like you saw in all of that, yes, they can do green screening, but you don't need it anymore, and those LEDs give off the correct ambient lights and reflection and everything that you want, which will save guys having to in edit see where there's green screen bleed and then re-edit that out as well. So I loved it. It was like a 20-minute documentary, and I was blown away, jaw-dropping.
It's madness. It really is. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Like the reason I saw it a while ago, I'm not trying to, but just because I'm so in touch with I have so many cinematography friends and stuff, and they were like bombarding and like going, "What the actual hell?" Dude, they're doing really cool stuff up there in Hollywood.
Yeah, man. So, and again, when you it's great, I suppose, if you're an actor and there's this movie that's going to shoot, and you go out on site or on location somewhere, exotic places and stuff. But in the world of the Mandalorian, even a lot of the comic book stuff, if you're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy and most of it's on a foreign planet, another world, just like the Mandalorian is, it's ideal. Put them in this soundstage, LEDs everywhere, and create the environment right there for the actors. And like they were saying too, from an actor's point of view, I no longer have to envision where this weird dinosaur is in the distance or whatever. I can actually see it on a screen.
And look, there is some, but it's small. And this is me shooting off the top of my head. There is some reservations. Pros are with, I don't know if overseas has travel bans like we do at the moment. We're not. But anyway, let's just pretend that they do. So if a person wanted to go to Brazil for a shoot, they can't anymore, but now they can project it on the screen. They have plenty of stock footage.
Correct.
And it'll work if, because most actors are in America already and stuff. But the con is that a lot of, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of, especially first world countries, it's partly to do with, I can't remember the places, but Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was shot in a specific place.
Because I think of the tax breaks.
Because they give them tax breaks if you use X amount of their
local
crew. And there's all these incentives, and that's why people take whole $1 million shows there. And then what happened is, that's what a lot of people don't know. Swamp Thing was awesome, but it got canned afterwards because a part of some governmental thing backed out at the last minute and only offered half of the funds that they promised.
Okay, so then the production went up.
So it wasn't even a fan or demand or views thing. It was a financial complication.
Okay.
So now the problem is, what I'm saying is, if everything gets so compacted, all those countries that would win from, especially like they come to Cape Town, dude, so much.
Yeah,
Cape
a
Town
lot.
is a filming mecca.
And I mean, I don't know if you've seen that studio that they've built just outside of Cape Town. I think they were doing I think it was Black
Yeah,
Sails.
Black Sails, yeah.
Man,
a Michael Bay production, I think.
Yeah, that thing was next level when you looked at the actual sets and how huge. I think they had at least 2 or 3 sound stages there. It was unbelievably done.
Yeah, it was really cool. If you're driving on the highway, our Cape Townian friends can probably comment better, but you'd actually see the actual ships,
100%.
the sets. So
Very cool.
So unfortunately, all that might take a bit of a dive when guys go, well,
Sure.
we can play it safe and just do it in the studio. So
Yeah.
again, pros, cons, but
Definitely.
But outer world stuff, yes, no brainer.
It is a no-brainer for that, 100%. What did I actually made notes here. Oh, on the filming thing, another thing that I saw literally this morning was something that Ryan Reynolds is now doing. He's calling it Get On Board. And really what Ryan's decided to do there is it's a way for him, but also anyone who gets on board with this initiative, I suppose you could call it. How it's going to work is he's going to take 20, here we would call them previously disadvantaged. Over there, it's basically people who don't have the white privilege, so to speak. So whether you're African American, whether you're Native American, whether you are Mexican, whether you're whatever it is, Latino, European even, any of those kinds of things. He's taking 20 of them, and he's also said age group is not restricted. So
Okay, cool.
whether they're young, kids and stuff who are interested in finding out about the business, wanting to go it, all the way through to you can be 50, 60 years old and wanting to do it as an interest, a hobby, anything like that. He, out of his own salary for the movie that he's shooting now for Netflix, I think it's in conjunction with Skydance Films.
Is that the time?
I don't know. He
Yeah,
didn't
'cause-
say. He just said he's just on now, the new Netflix thing that he's shooting. And in my mind, I'm going, it's either that time something or other, or it's maybe like a 6 Underground 2. I don't
possible.
know. But he said his salary, obviously not all of his salary, because I think Ryan does okay. But his coming out of his salary, his own pocket, he's going to cover all the travel for those people to get to the set, the location. His salary is going to cover them staying there for the duration that they're on the set, filming, etc., whatever they're doing. Meals, the whole, basically it's on Ryan Reynolds for these people.
That's cool.
Totally. And they will sit there, they will shadow various, like, directors, sound people, stage guys, whatever their interest is. He's going to try and expose them to the entire, this is how a movie gets done kind of thing. And all on him coming out of his salary for that movie.
Yeah, but that's what I like about Reynolds, dude. I mean, that's a really cool gesture. But if
Yeah.
a lot of people have such bad stuff to say about actors, and some of it's warranted. But I mean, if you look at him, I've run out of amount of businesses he's involved in. It's aviation, then he's got some internet sort of based company, and
yes,
he's got like
the cell phone thing, the mobile thing that he's doing.
and like, so I mean, he's got multiple streams of income, and I
Totally.
mean, that's what you should do. You hear.
Yeah.
Sadly, about all these actors that go so big and have these huge falls, and I think it's because they just, well, this will last forever, and it won't. Acting never
True.
will last forever.
100%. And not only that, I think in the acting world, very few of them are constant A-listers. Very few of them are Brad Pitt. Very few of them are De Niro or something like that. And even then, even De Niro, as things have waned in his career, not every movie revolves around an elderly 60-year-old, whatever. So even those roles start to shrink for you, especially if it's a comedy type role. And De Niro, yes or no, he's great in Meet the Parents, but maybe he's not suited for every kind of comedy role. So immediately excluded from that small little pool of elderly actors and stuff. So I agree with you. I love what Reynolds is doing, and I love what Hugh Jackman's doing with his coffee company and stuff like that. They're looking at it and going, what's next? What's after acting? If this had to go away, what else could still...
And it's so smart, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing off their fame. I would do the same thing. If I
So
was
would I, 100%. I'm hoping one day we crack it big on this thing.
Yeah.
And this is all we get to do because everything else
100%.
gets covered. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, that would be the dream.
Yeah, so I'm
on,
hoping
guys.
more actors get on board and take this up, because I think
I'm
it's
sure
a
they
really,
will.
really awesome thing for just the industry in general.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Hugh Jackman is not one of the first people to jump on board just because of this fun animosity thing that they got going.
Them, totally. Yeah. So that's what I saw.
Did you? I know this is a bit of a side note, but again, I know people are losing their minds, and I think I did post it on a group. But there's like small rumors going around that they're trying to get Reynolds to come back as Green Lantern.
I've seen and all this. No, he's going to sign a contract to do the cameo in the Snyder cut and blah blah blah.
And like, a part of me, it's like it's ridiculous, but in part of me, it's like that still would actually be cool. Like,
it would work. 100% it would work, and I'd be on board for it, actually.
Because he'd probably rip himself off, continue to within the film.
Totally.
But again, I mean, that's not much as Zack Snyder's. Tonally. But they maybe do need that, and they've acknowledged that they need those bit of breaks, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I know I always talk about the Snyder Cut, but I think it's ridiculous, dude. There's an article going around, and everyone's like, Snyder swears that he won't ever use a shot of Josh Whedon's. I'm like, isn't that obvious? It's a Snyder Cut. And everyone's reporting this like it's news. I'm like... Why is this news? Like, it's his cut, so obviously he's going to use only his shots and only his reshoots. He's not going to use other people's stuff.
Again, I don't know. In my head, what seems reasonable and logical, I don't know at what point he was taken off project and replaced with Whedon, firstly. So, in that very statement, I could perceive of something. If he was taken off project him wrapping his shooting, and Whedon shot some scenes that were in Zack's original plan, I could conceive of him using that, because in my mind I was going to shoot that anyway. Maybe not the way that Whedon shot it, but
I don't know if you know this, but apparently Zack Snyder hasn't even watched the theatrical version. Whedon's like the hybrid, what we got to see.
Okay.
He didn't. And
I could believe it.
I'll send you a link. There's a lady, and I don't know your name. I'm really sorry, but you do a YouTube channel called Beyond the Trailer, and it's really cool. And as far as I know, she also does her own comics. Surprisingly, but she got to do a one-on-one interview, Skype interview with Zack, and he answered a lot of this.
Okay.
And dude, like, I know I'm a fan, but just seeing how humble he is incredible, dude. If you look at it, like, there's no way to sugarcoat this. He was like, they used, from what I can tell, the death of one of his kids as the cherry on the top to push him out, because apparently of Jeff Johns' like side things of wanting Whedon and kind of bumping heads with Zack, and they kind of like threw him out, dude, and like ripped his movie to shreds from an artistic point of view. I'm not talking about financial. And then they still came back later. Well, now that there's a fan following, do you want to come back? And he still, just as a true dude, was like, yeah, cool, man. Well, and even Ben Affleck and all of these guys that are coming back, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's super cool, because to me that looks like the fans are more important, and that's very rare.
I think it's both. I think it's fanfare that is very important to them, but I also I believe a lot of those guys were excited and on board for the idea, the vision, the story that was going to be told. So I think large part of it is fanfare, but maybe there's also a lot of it that they're all going, yeah, we would like to do it this way and see how it comes out this way. The Afflecks, the Cavills, etc., and Zack, obviously.
At the end of the day, it's more marketing for them either way.
Correct.
Having two cuts, so
100%. They're going to smile all the way to the bank, irrespective, for sure.
But yeah, I actually think one day we must just get it out of my system and do a whole Snyder Cut video, because you give me a chance, dude, and I'll be talking about it. So
I'm happy to do it. We'll earmark it, and that'll be yours. I'll just sit here and nod and be like.
But yeah, I mean, what else is news? I know you had a couple of other things on your mind.
One thing that really kind of grabbed me, piqued my curiosity, is I sent you the picture of it. This thing, I don't know how true it is. I don't know.
It looks fake to me. Like, I'm like, I want to believe, but more context, Shane. These people don't know what we're talking about.
This morning, I was just surfing around on my phone, and I saw a picture posted by a regular industry artist. It looked like a full-blown cover saying there's going to be 12 issues of it, something called Secret Crisis. And it looks like it's the second time Marvel and DC are going to do a major, big crossover. mixing the sort of Secret Wars and the various, Infinite Crises that DC have done. And yeah, I like the title. It makes sense. Secret Crisis. That cover certainly had all the major players from both universes there in action.
I'll be honest, dude, because like I woke up this morning and kind of like blurry eyed looked and I'm like, what are you on about? And because I saw like my eyes, sadly, I know I've got the bias, but I saw Soups, so like,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden Wolverine, like in the corner, I was like, wait, what? And then I started paying attention. I was like, huh?
And on the back of that, I did just some quick Google searches using Secret Crisis, and there's a lot of speculation articles out there, and a lot of it is coming off the back of, again, spoiler alert for those who haven't read Doomsday Clock. There is a specific reference that Johns makes in there, where it's almost like a blatant commitment that Johns is saying,
oh wow,
it's going to happen by this time. And the only thing that made me scratch my head around that thing that I sent you, if you look who the writer was, I didn't see Johns' name. It said Hickman. Now, it would make sense to me. Hickman's on the Marvel side. If you can get Hickman and Johns to pair up and get on the same page, that would be amazing. You can have a host of different artists doing it if they wanted, but again, because Johns outright in Doomsday Clock says it's gonna happen, I don't know if there are discussions. I don't know. Yeah, and it wasn't like I found one article, several articles.
Yeah, I think if these big corporate companies pull their fingers out their ass, and just go, we're both going to make money, 50-50 deal, whatever you want to make it. Like,
sure.
Well, it's a win-win-win-win-win-win.
Well, where it was a win-win for them first time around, when they first did Marvel vs. DC, the way they did that was they set up the scene, all these characters there, and then it was literally a vote for your favorite character. And they were going to do a battle, and then whoever got the most votes, if it was, Thor versus Superman, who gets the most vote is who wins. If it's Batsy versus Cap, who gets the most votes, they win. Wolverine versus Lobo, who gets the most votes. That's how they did it. And at the same time, when they did that story, what I loved about it was they had that idea of multiple universes, the universes kind of colliding thanks to the Monitor, and I think it was Eternity on the Marvel side, and that spawned that amalgam universe where you had characters like the Dark Claw, Dr. Fate, Dr. Fate's or Strange Fate, the Speed Demon, which was a mixture of Ghost Rider and the Flash. All of these characters was born out of that first crossover. And like you say, they're going to sell comics because if you make it a 12-issue mega crossover, excuse me, you're going to make your money there. You're going to make your money when they do deluxe hardcovers, complete TPs, absolute edition, whatever you want to call them. They're going to do all of those if they did it. And it gives them another chance to say, Amalgam Universe returns. So now all of those that came in Amalgam Universe were all issue number ones. You could do more issue number ones or now do issue number twos if you wanted to for all of those comics. I mean, I've got a lot of them. I would be on board for another Dark Claw, for another, Speed Demon or whatever the case is. So I'm quietly optimistic. I'd love them to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea to keep fans on their toes. And you just spawned like a thought. We talked a little bit about it, but the new Batman animation that's coming out, because what triggered the idea was when you talked about the fans decide or whatever, and now it's this new interactive film. And you said something interesting. I didn't see this, but like it might only come out on Blu-ray.
Yes.
Which is sad because if you look, and I did ask you last night about, there's that once-off Black Mirror film called Bandersnatch.
Yes.
And I thought it was incredible. Like,
Bandersnatch was about that guy who's creating a choose-your-own-adventure like interactive video game. And
you are choosing his adventure. It's like so meta, dude.
Totally meta,
And that's why, like, Kira wasn't that into it, but dude, like I still want to one day do it again because I want to like find different endings and stuff. It was trippy as hell.
I saw 2 different endings because I tried it more than once. They say that it was all built on a specific kind of engine that they had to work. So I read a little article on it off the back of you just mentioning that, and the guy who said that they developed it with Netflix and other things, they said they created this almost like machine learning type engine that's now in place for them to do more of that kind of thing. So it could lend itself to proper multiple different things, even so far as if someone did the complete opposite choices of what most people would take, it would lead them to one of those paths if they wanted to now. So Yeah, there's all of that kind of stuff. There was apparently a 60 or 70 something % ending that most people get to.
Okay.
To do with the daughter of the guy who was creating the whole thing and stuff like that. Most people got to that ending based on the choices they were making as the story was flowing. But there were, a whole bunch of little side notes, etc. And it's on Blu-ray, and I get why, because the storage capacity of Blu-rays, you could do multiple types of choices to lead you to different tracks of the Blu-ray that would play the various things that you've selected by choice. I do hope that it does make its way to a Netflix or something.
I'm thinking, exactly, on a streaming service you could do it, but if we had to do what we've had to do in the past, not the nicest thing to admit, but here in South Africa, to get things early, we've got to find ways to download these things sometimes.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could
flat video.
Yeah, Blu-ray. I don't know if it could. All the metadata could be embedded. You never know.
Yeah, I have no clue. No clue.
But excited for it.
I think there are some ways to rip Blu-rays so that they do come like you're getting the actual disc. It doesn't flatten everything. So
there's the menu system.
It would be a large file that you would get in gigs wise, but you would still be able to then select, skip, choose. It would probably work. On that note, the thing that I like that gets my mind racing is it looks like the first half is going to be all around the death in the family storyline, the death of Robin. I looked at that and I went, well, we all know what happened. We know he dies. Yeah. We know what the offshoot was, and then we know that eventually led to the Red Hood. Yeah. Or maybe spoilers for people who don't know that story.
See, maybe they are trying to play it to a wider, younger audience that are getting into it. You know, they know at some point. You know, the poor comic dudes know most of the storylines, so you got to just make it anyway.
Off the back of that, you know that was also a Fanfare Interactive. So it was the comic ended and people would then have a week or something or a month to phone in to DC, and if you dialed a certain number with 1 at the end, you were voting for die, and if you're voting 2, it was live. And apparently it was a very marginal thing that he actually died.
Hectic. I didn't know that.
In the comics. And apparently the writer, I forget, I don't know if it was Marv Wolfman or one of them, actually had 2 things written. If he lived, if Jason Todd lived, and if Jason Todd died.
Well, I'm sure because of deadlines, he would have had to pre-write as much as he could.
Correct.
Yeah.
So part of me is interested to see it because I would choose that he lives because I'd like to see what they had in mind for him, where he was going to go with that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would like to watch it just to see that, and then to see what the next steps are, how they're looking to tie.
And as soon as we get hold of it, we will talk about it. But until then, we wait.